Someone has to. Oh, hey, Eddie. How you doing, Eddie? Good to see you. Hey, Quan. So how's the new system working? No? Yeah. And the new system. Yeah. Yeah. That's not right.
Good evening and welcome to the City of Oxford Commissioners Board meeting in 7 p.m. on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Reminder, please silence your cell phones while the meeting is lasting. I'd like to ask Bishop Gardner Eddie to lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Mayor Pro Tem Keisha Fields. Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. We come to you this evening, first of all, giving you thanks for everything. We pray for your guidance. We pray for your counsel. We pray that you would speak to those that have been elected into the business of the city. We pray that as they do the work for the citizens of the city, that it be in alignment with what you desire. You said in your word that thy kingdom would come and thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. We pray that as they work for the citizens and work for the city of Oxford, that it would be in alignment with your will. John said that he saw a new Jerusalem that brought glory to your name. We pray for a wonderful and majestic city of Oxford that would also bring glory to your name. Bless its citizens and again bless its officials. We pray it now in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right, please, and stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
At this time, we will consider adjustment to and approval of tonight's agenda. Are there any adjustments? Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the agenda as written.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Provided for highest standards of behavior, transparency, and governance, the Board of Commissioners will approve a code of ethics to establish guidelines for ethical standards for board members and to provide guidance in determining appropriate conduct. Among those board members shall avoid impropriety in exercise of their official duties and should conduct affairs of the board in an open and public manner. If any board member knows of a conflict of interest or appearance of a conflict, please state so at this time. Let the record note no conflicts of interest. First order today is a delegation for a presentation for former Mayor Jack Henry. Sergeant, by former city manager, Mr. Alan Portman.
As you know, I'm Alan Thornton. I used to be here for a little while as a city manager. Worked for nearly 6 years before Mayor Sargent. And I submitted an application for her to be considered to receive or be inducted into the Order of the Long Leaf Climb. That was accepted. So, what I want to say to you tonight is good evening to everyone, and thank you to Mayor Nurse and the Board of Commissioners for placing this presentation on your agenda tonight, and for allowing me the honor and privilege of presenting this distinguished award. Since 1963, North Carolina's governors have reserved their highest honor, the Order of the Long Leaf Climb Award, for individuals who, for 30 or more years, let that sink in, 30 or more years, qualified and considered, have made significant contributions to the state and their community through their exemplary public service and exceptional accomplishments. Jacqueline Didier Sargent began her public service career in 1982, working for the Health Department of Granville County. She spent more than 26 years working for the Health Department of Granville County, where she was instrumental in identifying, advocating for, and serving the needs of the citizens of Granville County. My personal experience with Jackie was through her other public service career as mayor of the city of Oxford. Jackie was called to serve the citizens of Oxford, North Carolina, beginning in December of 2009. She was elected to the City of Oxford Board of Commissioners. Jackie worked tirelessly during her 2 years as a commissioner before she determined that her skill, ability, and convictions regarding the City of Oxford and its citizens would be better served in the role of mayor of the City of Oxford. Jackie was elected to the office of mayor of the City of Oxford in December 2009. overwhelmingly reelected to serve as mayor for 5 additional terms of office. I worked with Jackie as city manager of the city of Austin for nearly 6 years, having personally worked for more than a dozen mayors and nearly 100 commissioners, council members, and aldermen over the course of my career. I can truthfully say that Jackie stood far and above all of them in her level of commitment, service, and tireless dedication to the city of Austin and its citizens. Jackie Sargent is the very rare public official who serves the public because she deeply cares about her community and constituents more than she cared about serving her own interest. She is truly one of a kind and is widely respected by everyone in Oxford and Grandview County. If everyone knew her, everyone knew that her convictions, causes, and positions were extremely well thought of, and always for the betterment of the city and its citizens. Jackie always put the needs of the city and others before herself. She would frequently attend meetings, gatherings, and public events representing the city, often to the detriment of her own personal family plans and events. Jackie never let anyone she could not successfully communicate with, and her leadership, loyalty, and dedication to service simply cannot be matched. Under the guidance of then Mayor Jackie Sargent, the city of Oxford successfully progressed from having financial difficulties to being extremely stable with enviable unrestricted fund reserves. The city of Oxford embarked on a massive public infrastructure replacement and enhancement program that has and will continue to position the city of Oxford for positive growth and development both now and well into the future. Jackie was instrumental in successfully seeking, applying for, and receiving state and federal grant funds for this infrastructure initiative that is and will save the citizens of Oxford millions of dollars. The city of Oxford itself as an organization became a much more stable, professional, and desirable destination for public employees due to her progressive efforts. Jackie was involved in essentially anything and everything that transpired in the city of Oxford. She was instrumental in the resurgence of downtown Oxford through the development of the downtown master plan, and has supported businesses, improvement projects, and events and activities designed to bring people back to the downtown area. She was also instrumental in the development of the city's unified development. She was very precise in working on the crafting of the UDO as it was to and is currently being utilized by the city to guide development in the city of Oxford. I could continue on for many pages about her accomplishments, but I am hopeful that this relatively brief soliloquy paints a little picture for you that are here tonight. I am proud to have worked with Jackie, but I am even more proud to call her my friend. I can truly think of no other citizen, public servant in the state of North Carolina who is more deserving of this honor and who truly embodies the spirit of the Order of the Long-Leaf Cone. It is my honor and privilege to hereby present to you tonight Jacqueline Vanderbilt Sargent, Order of the Long-Leaf Cone.
That was Rob's over-the-top generous from Alan in his graciousness, because there was a lot of credit that he attributed to me that really goes to him and the staff. It's his staff that made things happen. I used to think people all had to do just like him. When people, and it's the people that invest, that make the decisions to invest in downtown Oxford, that come and say, I have this idea, what do you think? And all I had, all I had was there to say was, that's a great idea, how can we help you? This is the work of others. It has always been an unbelievable honor and a privilege to be in the role that I was in as an elected official for this city, and to work alongside And I thought, oh, dear. I figured every time I knock on his door and walk into his office, he would greet me, oh, here's the toes again. So he's been incredibly gracious. Alan always said, I just try to do the right thing. And I learned that from him. I learned that from some other friends that I have that I tremendously admire, that you try to do the right thing, and they call it public service for a reason. It is absolutely without question about serving people and owning the people, and I just have the people and the staff, the city, and Alan, and colleagues on the board, wonderful colleagues on the board, to thank for this incredible honor. So I am blessed beyond measure, grateful for the opportunity that I have had, and I just thank you, Vicki, and Alan, for the work that you did, and each of you for your continued service in the following. Thank you so much.
We have Commissioner McCray and Chief Ford. Forward, please.
City of Austin, North Carolina, National Food Week 2022. Whereas the City of Austin is recognizing the week of May 12th and May 24th as National Food Week. Whereas this week does strive to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our lives. There are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the 23 dedicated members of the Austin Police Department. And whereas, since the first reported death in 1786, there are currently 24,067 law enforcement officers in the United States who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the field in the line of duty. And whereas, the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and honors all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flag should be flown at half-staff. Whereas 282 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 118 officers killed in 2023 and 164 officers killed previous year. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Now, therefore, I, Guillermo Munoz, Mayor of the City of Austin, along with the Austin Board of Commissioners, who hereby proclaim that the City of Austin will observe May 12th through 2024, as National Police Week, and we publicly salute the service and law enforcement officers of our community and communities across the nation. The women whereof, I here have hereunto set my hand and cause this bill of Austin, North Carolina, to be affixed this 14th day of May, 2024. Signed, Guillermo Munoz, Mayor, City of Austin. Before, I want to thank you and your dedicated officers for all the past week for the city. I truly understand that it is a lot of time to say thank
Johnson. Excuse me, go ahead, Commissioner Ridley.
Before we go any further, I just have to say something. And what I want to say is, I think it's wonderful, first of all, that we are honoring Mayor Jackie Sardone. And I know we gave her a standing ovation, but I just could not sit here, because I don't know if she's going to stay here for the whole meeting, without saying the tremendous effect you've had on me as an elected official in the job that I have. Because many of us that sit up here, this is not all that we do. And sometimes our schedules are set pretty thin. But what I appreciate about you, Mayor Sardone, is that you were a mayor for everyone, all of our citizens. And I appreciated the fact that you made no distinction about what church you were in or what group you were around. You always were their mayor. And I think that we sometimes take for granted leaders like you who reach out to everyone in the community. And that's important to me. The fact that you made no distinctions about color, race, economic status. And I also wanted to thank Irvette for sharing you with us. Because, it's one thing to be a good leader, but you have to have that person beside you who's understanding of your time and what you go through. And I know I'm taking a little time, but Mayor, you can also dance. I was at the Cultural Fest this past weekend, and Mayor can shake a leg. And she knows because I videotaped her and sent her a copy of it. But, yeah. But what I would also like to, I just want to thank your family, Mayor, for all the years that you served and how they have shared you with us. And I'll admit that I was, a little bit disappointed when you made a decision to not run anymore. I mean, I was disappointed. But I'm happy that this is happening for you. Well-deserved honor. And in addition, Mayor, I want to say that I work in the court system, and so us honoring or making this, the week for law enforcement or police officers, that is a wonderful thing, because now when I walk into a courtroom and I see a police officer, I have a heightened understanding of what they do every day. We just lost 4 police officers in Charlotte. I think 8 were shot, but 4 died just trying to serve a warrant. So every day, our law enforcement officers go out and they risk their lives. And so I'm happy that Commissioner McCray did this resolution. And of course, Mayor, I know you signed it. I think that's important to recognize. And I'm telling you, every time I am in a courtroom and there's a police officer in there, and whether I'm questioning the police officer or I'm just sitting beside him in a chair, or her in a chair, I realize that every day they don't know if they're going to return home. And so I'm glad that this board, this mayor, is honoring our police officers. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor Pro Thompson will read a proclamation in the National Preservation of the Historic.
I don't think we have anybody here for me. The City of Oxford, North Carolina, Proclamation, National Preservation Month. Whereas local historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth and sustainability, development, revitalization, neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for the communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and all ethnic backgrounds. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contribution made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspect of heritage that has shaped us as a people. And whereas historic preservation is inherently economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable, fostering a culture of refuse and maximizing the life cycle of all resources through conservation. And whereas National Preservation Month began as National Preservation Week through a joint congressional resolution in 1973 and has since been celebrated each year in the month of May. And whereas the General Assembly of the state of North Carolina has stated the historical heritage of our state is one of our most valued and important assets. The conservation and preservation of historic districts and landmarks stabilize and increase property value in their areas and strengthen the overall economy of the state. And whereas the Oxford Historic Preservation Commission served as the city's official body to identify, preserve, and protect Oxford historic resources and to educate the public about historic preservation. And whereas the city of Oxford value its heritage and historic character and continue to demonstrate its commitment to preservation through architectural survey, updated, and nominations of significant historic resources to the National Registry of Historic Places, and by protection of its local historic districts through its historic preservation ordinances. And now, therefore, I, Guillermo Nurse, Mayor of the City of Oxford, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim May 2024 as National Preservation Month and call upon the people of Oxford to join their fellow citizens across North Carolina and the United States in recognition and participation in this special observance. In witness, therefore, I unto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Oxford, North Carolina, to be affixed this, the 14th day of May, 2024. Guillermo Nurse, Mayor, Oxford, North Carolina. Thank you.
Commissioner John Toby will do a proclamation for Public Works Department. May I have,
Could we have
Mr.
our Public
Glasgow?
Works Director, Steve, up here, please? When I can read this, for our Public Works Director. The National Public Works Week, May 19th, 25th, 2024, titled Advancing Quality of Life for All. Whereas the public works professional focus on infrastructure, facilities, and
services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life and well-being of the people of the city of Oxford. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of the public work professionals who are engineers, managers and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving and protecting our nation's water supply, water treatment and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders and children of the city of Oxford to gain knowledge and of maintain ongoing interest, understanding of the importance of public works and the public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and the Canadian Public Works Association. Be it now, therefore, I, Guillermo Nurse, Mayor of the City of Oxford, North Carolina, along with the Oxford Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2024, as the National Public Works Week, and encourage all of us in our community to join me in honoring the people who care for us by celebrating their commitment and efforts to improve our streets, water and sewer, by showing our appreciation for the dedicated workers that serve us not during this week, but at every opportunity throughout the year. In witness thereof, I have hereto set my hand and cause the seal of Oxford, North Carolina, to be affixed this 14th day of May 2024. Signed, Guillermo Nurse, Mayor of Oxford. Thank you.
If you notice, we all know the infrastructure water problem repairs we've been doing lately. I have witnessed enormous occasions where Public Works Department has been called out because they had water lines that were not on their drawings and not found. And they were hit, part of the construction, we knew that. And the Public Works Department came out, and every time they work with contracts and have everything repaired in a very short time, very efficient. Really thank you for that, Mr. Blasco.
I would like to piggyback on this past weekend. I had a citizen call me and said, Mayor Pro Tem Waters bagging up in my house. And I said, well, okay, call 911 and somebody will be there. And I was informed Sunday that it took 18.9 minutes for Public Works to get there to start working on that situation. Thank you so very much to you and your staff.
Paul, we have a presentation by Beth Hollister for the Red Cross. Oh, miss.
I have a loud voice and I don't usually need a microphone, but I'll use it since I think a lot of us have allergies and scratchy throats today. So I'm going to flip this. We've been honoring people that have served us. Now I'm going to ask you to participate in service and to help me really try to recruit our youth and those that would like to serve in a multitude of different ways to serve our community. I was recently approached to be the community volunteer leader for Granville County for the American Red Cross. I'm a nurse by training. I work full-time in Durham. So this is a volunteer position. We made a call out and we have a about 12 to 15 folks that have come forward that would like to help us with our efforts, but it's really important that this is heard. Why? We have a true dearth of Red Cross volunteers in our county. It has become so, we have so few people that our children are not able to go to field trips because teachers don't have trainers for CPR or first aid. We have classes getting canceled that folks need. We don't have the lifeguards that we need, so pools are closing. This is a really, really big deal, okay? And people can decide to volunteer for an hour a year, an hour a month, an hour a week. As long as you're 16 and older, there are things that you can do. And we're already starting that with blood drives in the area, with people serving in disaster for home fires, business fires, but also in teaching. So I'm just going to really briefly kind of whiz through this. I brought pamphlets and also business cards if anybody would like to contact me so that I can help you sign up online to be a volunteer. Go through the background check, then you can start to serve. Okay. Here we know who this is. None of the kids know who this is. She's my hero as a nurse. This is Claire Barton. Okay. Kids need to learn about the service that Claire Barton started that eventually became the Red Cross. The Red Cross's mission is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. An example that was happening this fall was mobilization of all the Red Cross volunteers for Hawaii for the wildfires. And that included not just medical folks and engineers, but folks for ministry and counseling and all the reasons that involved that. So disaster preparedness, disaster response. We would even hold classes for small businesses to teach them how to prepare for disaster, what insurances you need to have, what paperwork you need to have off-site, etc. So it's not just big things. It can be for children, coming into the schools and saying, what do you need to take with you? You have to leave your home. We're doing those classes actually this summer as part of the summer school program. We've already got that. Everybody knows the Red Cross as a blood services. Can I ask how many people have ever donated blood? It's not difficult. So if you're eligible to donate, I encourage you to do so. We're going to be reaching out to our African American population because we desperately need blood for sickle cell patients, and we have a unique potential to be able to help those folks. So anybody that's interested in that and speaking to church groups, communities, friends, neighbors, please let me know. We now have a new chapter of the Red Cross that Graham County is part of, called the Greater Triangle chapter, and we play a big part in that. We have local ministries who donate items for them, for example, to the Red Cross, kind of national presence and businesses. You can see all the different areas. What's kind of interesting is this is us, and we include the islands. So if there are hurricanes or tropical storms that affect these islands, we are totally deployed there as a Red Cross. I think this is important, especially for the kids. You know, they're going to get, some training, they're going to get networking and socializing. They're going to have something to put on their resume. They can start slow at school and help to found volunteer opportunities, get that professional development, and also have hopefully an impactful experience. This is important for all ages, but I guess I'm really passionate about building our next group of volunteers and adults, making sure that we're helping that along. So you can see disaster preparedness, just being on call occasionally that do a blood drive that you hold locally. You can also do something that I think is kind of cool. You go to the Red Cross, Durham or Wade County, you pick up one of the Red Cross vehicles, you have a license, you just do an insurance, and you can actually drive the blood to the hospital. And you can put your big tape on, you can call on your family, you know, talk to whatever, but, you know, drive a half day, drive a couple hours, it's pretty cool. Disaster action, we've already spent quite a bit of time on, but it's very key one, and we definitely have to have pretty robust training in that for the health and disaster shelter team, again, we're mobilizing funds of means that we have to have that to mostly online, so you can do it on your own, and I'm happy to help people sign up for that. Same thing with community preparedness. We want people to volunteer on their own schedule, and then, you know, doing things that work for you. We just had the smoke detector put, and the Red Cross actually provides free smoke detectors to those communities and staff to install them. This is the blood transportation specialist. Recruitment team members, what I need is desperately, because I'm getting a lot of calls to action, I'm getting a lot of people that need our services, but I don't have people to service. So I need people to stand at our, you know, we have our festival, what you just had. You know, we can provide the booth, we can provide the signs, we can provide the ways to sign up. We have got to get more volunteers. We can hold a volunteer fair, I can help you organize that. We're having a monthly meeting at our farm, which is on Green Road, to brainstorm and make this document. Donna, right here, Donna, has been an awesome team member for that. She's bringing lots of ideas and really been helping a lot. But we need about 100, Donna. So please do your best to send people my way. Anybody have any questions? Okay.
Yeah, I do. You had mentioned something about we don't have enough lifeguards for pools, things like that. So what does the Red Cross do to help in that area?
They have lifeguard certification classes that people can take. And so we need people that can teach that certification. If they've been certified, just like you go to the Red Cross for CPR certification, you can also go in for lifeguard training. Same thing, CPR, first aid, disaster. And, you know, for kids, then that's a summer job.
Yeah.
Right? And a great life skill for that. Redcross.org/volunteer. Click on it, you can sign up. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Second delegation tonight is going to be another topic that's very important. The community is increasingly see the incidents that happen up in Henderson. And we've been forming this coalition here in Oxford, I believe, since January, composed of city residents and some of the staff here. We call up the Granville County Homeless Coalition.
Good evening, all. My name is Minister Marie Reardon Dudley, and I'm serving as a volunteer coordinator for the Granville County Coalition for Homelessness. And it is an initiative that is made up of faith-based organizations, law enforcement, nonprofit organizations, and citizens just like we are here tonight. And basically, I'm going to talk to which is owned by the city of Fayetteville, with 95 permanent health clinics and funded through city, county, state, federal, and public funding. There are 14 different service delivery partners at this facility, and they have a good utilization of the boardroom and the majority of the staff and providers, and this is key, are volunteers. I can really relate to what Ms. Beth was talking about with the need for volunteers. But we actually saw volunteers in action that have really made things happen. The core staffing model here includes a site director, a community development coordinator. They have armed and unarmed security teams. They have intake and assessment staff, and most of them are all volunteers. There is peer support specialists, and they have in the city of Fayetteville a police homeless coordination officer for each division, so they get to know their population and know what people's needs are. What the program actually accomplishes is that it coordinates assessment, it does housing, tools, and resources, there's a self-serve monitoring and calendar, and there's on-site medical, mental health, substance abuse, and dental care. This is the little slide show. This is the reception area, and then this is a multi-purpose room at the top. That's the boardroom that's shared by all of the providers. That's the in-house laundry. That's the shower facility, and that is a medical exam room that is shared by medical and facilitators. Some of the partners and providers and stakeholders include behavioral health organizations, the veteran services are also in-house. There's also people that just go in and provide certain services. Amazing ideas of all of their ACP stuff. So anyone that's in the program gets a free telephone service. We understand that ACP is going away nationally, but there are still some facilities and some agencies that have services that they can provide for those who are unhoused. And the key points of emphasis that the program uses the HMIS system, which is the Homelessness Management Information System. And what it does is it allows them to actually store data. You can actually register people into this national database. So I may be in Fayetteville last week, I'm in Oxford this week, but if I'm in the HMIS system, I can be tracked, my services can follow where I go, and things of that sort. And we've even been blessed to go a little bit further because we have Minister Washington in Granville County who's already completed training for HMIS, and we look at forward to her certification in the near future. So we're a little bit ahead of where we want to go, but we're trying to move forward. The center serves approximately 200 persons per day, and that number has doubled since we opened it August of last year. The center is supported by community and private donations, and just reiterate the importance of the volunteerism. The managers provide lunch daily, every day of the week. The facility is open from 9 to 5:30, and they provide a meal to anyone that comes in that particular day, and they come in and that's their invaluable consistent partnership that they offer. So tangible things like your office supplies are shared by all of the partners in the facility, and I want to probably say why I want to attend. And we know we're such a business, spaces and pens and pocket paper, so they share every single concept and every single thing that they can actually share to make the facility successful. So where we are right now is the coalition here in Granville County. And let me share a little bit about the numbers. So according to the North Carolina Housing Coalition, and this is data that came from HUD, in North Carolina, 28% of the North Carolina households are cost burdened. Cost burden means that you spend more than 30% of your income on housing. If you are severely cost burdened, then you spend more than 50% of your income on housing. So in the state of North Carolina, as of the end of last year, but this data came from 2023, 48% of North Carolina renters have affordability difficulties. And you know that even means you're juggling. 19% of North Carolina homeowners have affordability difficulties. So it's not just the renters, it's the homeowners too. But then I want us to look at what the annual salary is. The average annual salary in the state is $43,316 per year, or $20.83 per hour. And that's what's required for you to qualify for fair market rent. Rich
Thank you.
A little background is this got started back in, I believe, December. A conversation I had with the fire chief and the police chief, and they led to Bishop Betts, who has a program there when taking care of the homeless, and we saw the need to get this started in the community. So again, we got together and we got Pastor Reverend Stallworth got involved, and a couple other members in the community, and that's where we're moving at. So the organization is looking for help, and we'll be presenting this to the county next week, next June 3rd. So as you see, what happened in Anderson, you had 120 families that was evicted from a hotel, which should have never been operating. We have 70 kids. And their big scramble, Mayor Elliott had to do a lot of things to get people situated up there. And we're ahead of the game trying to get this going to avoid this from happening here in the county of Granville. So I'm quite sure if there's any questions, you can please direct it to the Commissioner.
Yeah, I noticed when I was looking at the program we have here, where y'all visited, said that I didn't see a bedroom in any of the pictures.
It's a day resource center, so this particular facility
Right.
does not have beds. They open
Oh,
throughout the
okay.
day to provide services, charging stations, showers, laundry, intake, connection to resources. Once you're registered in the HMIS program, you can even assist with things like getting your driver's license, birth certificates, all those things that make it difficult for people to even start to work to pull themselves out of the situations that they're in. So this is simply a day resource center.
Oh.
And the city of Fayetteville does have a shelter that is nearby, and they are building another one at this time.
Okay, there are people sleeping.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But that is the second phase of the program, would be to identify sites and to have temporary emergency shelter beds. 'Cause that is
And I think you answered this question. Is part of also what you want to do is to have some kind of job training
That's
or
part of it. It's
or
part of it.
resources
Yes, sir.
for folks
To
to
bring
get
everything
employment.
under one umbrella. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Brooks?
Yes, sir.
So I would assume that small town like ours, you also have a mental health component.
Yes, sir. Mental health, medical, and dental. Yes, sir. And actually, the goal would be for there to be in-house counseling, intake as well, and to have direct contact with our partners that we can send you to immediately. So that's the goal.
I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank our local fire department, fire chief and police chief, and some of the local churches that this past winter
Yes.
have provided overnight accommodation for these homeless people, especially when it's been very, very cold. And they've really stood up and helped us, our local people, which is really good. I just want to thank them now for what they've done over this last winter.
Thank you very much. This time we have a presentation by the auditors.
Good evening. I'm here to present the June 30th, 2023 audit for the city of Oxford. The good news, it's mostly going to be good news on this report. We issued an unmodified, used to be referred to as a clean audit opinion on the financial statements. You should have a copy in front of you. I may reference a page or two, but I'm not going to go over it in detail. This audit went on for over 6 months this year. Your new finance officer, who I think began in May of 2023, overall did a good job, provided full access to records. We didn't have any disagreements with anybody on the finance staff. There were no new accounting policies. We didn't uncover any illegal acts or anything like that. So again, we issued a clean audit opinion on the financial information. The one needs improvement area, we got to get the audit out on time. You get 4 months after the June 30th fiscal year to submit the audit, which is October 31st, and they give you a 1 month deadline, or a 1 month extension. And you don't, it's not considered late. So this year we issued the audit in April of 2024, so that is significantly late compared to previous years. So I did want to come here and say that it's not necessarily 100% the finance officer's fault. When she started, there was a 2 or 3 month delay. There was not a finance officer before she started to kind of transition over. And that project fund that you guys got going on, it's 8 or 9 projects in one project. So it's pretty complex. So I was not surprised at all. So a lot of times a late audit's a red flag of issues. But I just knowing what I saw behind the scenes, I do think that'll turn around next fiscal year, the 24 fiscal year. So I don't expect that finding to be there. Is there any questions about that? Okay, the other thing to point out, the city, the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association, issued a certificate of achievement to the city for financial reporting for the 22 audits. That was last year's audit. That's a really high standard of financial reporting that the city gets every year. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a great job. The financials are 123 pages. It's a fairly tedious process. Just know that your staff did a great job helping assemble those. Overall, we'll look at the financial trends. Those are good. The graphs are there. They're overwhelmingly positive. I went from 2018 to 23. You'll see this in a moment. So the one thing I do want to point out, and I've spoken to your finance officer about this, and I'll direct you to a page in the report since you have it. Let's go to page 48. I'll just show you something real quickly, bring to your attention. Page 48 of the audit report. Okay, what we're looking at here is your business type activities, fixed assets. So this is your water and sewer fund. So you have a significant project going on right now. You can see land, 217,000, followed by construction in progress. And if you see the ending balance at June 30th, 2023, you're at 40,606,873. That amount will eventually begin, will be depreciated. So it will be in your depreciation expense. That may need to be factored in. So you'll see some really positive trends from a financial standpoint, including your water and sewer fund. But going forward, at some point when that construction in progress is placed in service, it's going to be depreciated. So there's going to be an expense that you'll need to cover in your utility fund. And I have discussed that with your finance director. No comment? No? Okay. I did want to point that out. So, but overall, the operating results have been really strong in utility funds, but you'll have an additional appreciation expense to consider. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. Any questions about that? The other thing is one additional finding that was carried.
You know, the fact that you said, just want to give you a heads up on it. Could you just specifically say what it is this board needs to do to be careful about that?
Let's do it this way. Let's look at another page of the report. I'll just point out.
Mm-hmm.
This might help. Let's go to page 36. Okay, on page 36, this is basically your income statement for the enterprise fund. So water and sewer is the one I'm looking at right here. Your depreciation expense for June 30th, 2023 was just over $1 million. You see that? And that's consistent with the previous year. What's gonna happen is that CIP that I showed you, that $40 million, and that keeps accumulating each year, with such significant projects. You'll say if you took that total amount, you divided it by 40 years to depreciate that asset over 40 years, that depreciation expense would go up by $1 million. So that's what I'm pointing out. But as you can see, I mean, you still had $1.6 million of income before contributions and transfers. So you would still, the city would still be in good shape, but it would not look as positive as I'm pointing out. So the other thing, there was one other internal control finding I just need to point out, but this one should be gone. This was your previous finance officer. The city was short-staffed a little bit, and I think there was an additional hire this fiscal year. So there's a segregation of duties finding, and basically what that is the business office was short one staff, so the finance officer was doing too much. But so when we came in the audit, we evaluated it. That will go away next fiscal year for 24. So that's been rectified, but we wanted to keep that finding in there because a lot of this fiscal year, there was segregation of duties issue. That was there last fiscal year as well. Any questions about that one? But those are the two kind of ones that needs improvement, the late audit. The other one we're going to expect to go away. So other than that, from an internal standpoint, the records were in very similar shape as the previous year. So even though you had a new finance officer, the audit was a little late, the books were in good shape. All right, let's look at the graphs. Ready? Let's go to the first one. Oh, I did. How did I get it going? Yeah, that's good. Okay. This is analysis of fund balance, governmental funds. And most of this will be your general fund balance improving each fiscal year. You can see that 2023 is the highest you've had in 6 fiscal years. It's a $1.3 million increase from 2022. And over the last 6 years, your fund balance has increased 89%. Really strong in the last 6 fiscal years. Let's go to the next one. This is your general fund. Local government commission is always concerned about your unassigned fund balance in your general fund. You can see in 2023, you're at 93%. That's 11 months in reserve of unassigned fund balance in your general fund. That's the highest in 6 fiscal years. The minimum requirement is 34%, and you're at 93%. So almost 3 times the minimum requirement. Doing well in the general fund. Cash all funds. There's a $1.2 million increase from 2022 to 2023. Again, you're at the highest cash balance in 6 fiscal years. So the next one. Now this one I meant to point out earlier, because of the water and sewer project fund, this is one of the things that adds complexity to your accounting records. It's a lot of the reason why the audit was late. Outstanding debt, you see that increase. That's about a $12 million increase from the previous fiscal year. That's related to the project fund. So I'm sure the board's well aware of that. And your last finance officer wanted me to point out what your current assets divided by current liabilities, your current portion. I did that calculation, and you're at 6 times. So you take your current assets divided by current liabilities in your balance sheet. So you have 6 times current assets, but it's still pretty strong, even though that's going up. You're relatively in the same spot you were the year before as far as your current assets covering those current liabilities. And current liabilities are liabilities to be paid within 12 months after the fiscal year. I don't know if that's confusing, but your previous finance officer wanted to point that out last year. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is the water and sewer fund. This is where the depreciation expense would come into play that we mentioned. You can't see down here, there's a little bit more in the graph, but you had, you can see 2022 is really strong. You had almost $4 million of income before contributions and transfers. That increase in depreciation expense would knock this down. You would have additional depreciation expense. It would lower your water and sewer income loss before contributions. But I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, the city has moved really sharp since 2018. So I just wanted to, whenever, like I said, whenever that stuff gets placed in service and starts to get depreciated, it will look a little different. All right, let's go to the next one. property tax collection percentage, this is pretty strong at 99% in the last fiscal year. So that's the highest in the last 6 fiscal years. And again, we issued a clean audit opinion. I noted the 2 areas. We're gonna make sure we get the audit out on time. The finance officer is on the same page, and I think it's gonna get done. So overall, good audit. Books are in good shape. Any questions? With water and sewer operations, it does appear that, but it's not going to be as positive unless revenue is increased. That's what I was I think the city should still be in good shape. I just didn't want it next year, 2 years from now, go down and the next 7 months.
Thank you very much for your report. At this time, we'll move to the public comment section. As you know, we have 3 minutes for public comments. As you come up, please state your name, your address. We have Mr. Larry Thomas.
I would like to see some improvements made to the intersection of Little John and Main Street. The site is consistent turning left and right from Little John onto Main Street. Of course, you are well into the intersection before you can see vehicles moving in either direction along there. Number 2, why were there 2 decorative streetlights installed on Main Street, then any city streets to be resurfaced in the coming fiscal year? Thanks.
With the intersection of Lynn John, you're correct. There's an issue that needs to be looked at. The lighting that was installed, the decorative lighting was installed. We're doing a little test throughout the city, different areas, and because we got to light up some of the little alleyways so we can get people to move back and forth and feel safe in the city. So they're actually moving their location. Well, yeah, if we're more than open, you can reach out to the Public Works Director and they'll record all that information for us. Street resurface, we have that scheduled later on this year. Oh, no. Mr. Scotty Brooks.
Good evening. Scotty Brooks, 104 Smith Street. I walked one day from where I live in Graball, Goshen Street, down to Sharon's Tire. And if you're old like me, you remember this game called Frogger, a video game? That's what I felt like once I crested the hill on Goshen Street. we need a sidewalk. We need a sidewalk to continue, in my opinion, because it's very dangerous to walk on Goshen Street. If you don't believe me, get out of your car at the top and walk down to the bottom of Alexander, and I guarantee you, you will see your life flash in front of you a couple of times. Guaranteed. Chief Ford, I called you yesterday to commend your officers on the exemplary job that they did with a very explosive situation. And I told you, when you do well, I'll call you, and when you don't, I will call you. So I kept my promise. All right. So the other reason why I came is I went to the town hall meeting that I may have had. I commend you on that. That was very informative. Thank you for that. And I missed the second one, but I went to the first. And Ms. Hart gave us a report talking about the houses in Brown County and Oxford that they're building. And so I asked the question, what was the average price of homes that are being built? She told me $300,000. So I started thinking about that. Like, okay, what does that look like? $300,000. So Oxford's average household income is about 59,000. The median household income is about 40,000. The U.S. average household income is 74,000, and the median household income in 2021 was about 71,000. So how much income do you need to buy a $300,000 house? That's the question, if you are coming to Oxford right now. With a 5% down payment and an interest rate of 7.158, that's the average at the time of the writing, you will want to earn at least $6,644 per month. That's about 80 grand a year to buy a $300,000 house. This is based on an estimated monthly mortgage of $2,392. The calculation for the income needed to buy that house, assume you have around $600 or less in monthly debt. How many people have that? I don't. My phone bill is $200. And so that means if you're making $40,000 a year, your net pay will be $32,513, and that's about $2,709 per month. That's scary. So, 30 seconds. So, the reason why I'm bringing this up, I don't mind changing Oxford. I don't mind nice houses in Oxford. I know two council members that are sitting right here, Carlos Soler, Curtis McCray. When they ran, they talked about affordable housing. And I was there campaigning with them. And when you say affordable housing, people look at you like you want to build projects everywhere around them. That's not what that means. Affordable housing means that my daughter, who is 18, when she graduates from college in 4 years and comes back, if she wants to buy a house in Oxford, if she has a decent job, she should be able to buy a house in Oxford. If your grandkids want to go to college and come back to Oxford and stay next and visit their mom, their nan, and their papa, because they can drive 10 minutes or 15 minutes to come see them, they should be able to. What I'm saying is, to this city council, we can't undo what has already been done. I'm not asking you to do that. What I am asking you to do is that in the future, when someone comes and asks, is our town for sale? You tell them no. You read something that talked about the preservation of Oxford. It's not just the building. For me, it's the people. When I say I'm from Grand Ball, I mean it. And I'm happy. When she says she's from Grand Ball, she's happy and she means it. It means something to us because we have a rich heritage in our town, and I'm invested in our town. I came back here to give what God has given me back to my town because this town made me who I am. It made Mr. McCoy who he is. It made all of us in here that grew up in here. It made us who we are. So, what I'm asking this council to do is in the future, we need affordable housing. And I'm not talking about slum villages. I'm talking about affordable housing. Redefine that. And when these people come knocking on our door, you tell them, if you've don't have affordable housing, we don't want you. You don't have to build $500,000 houses all over town because we cannot afford it. We do not want to have our children not be able to call Oxford their hometown. Thank you.
There's a little initiative that's on the table by Commissioner Velez to address that, and you'll have more information in the future to come on that. But Commissioner Velez has a program he's working to get that going. I'd like to call Anna Hausman.
Hello, Anna Hausman, 306 Broad Street. I want to say thank you for putting the minutes up online. I was able to go back and look at some of the ones that I previously not been able to find, and I appreciate that. I want you to know that I saw it. I'm coming today, not, my friend was acting up, so I don't have enough for everybody, but I do have some more ADA kind of compliance related things, specifically as it pertains to a PowerPoint presentation. I have sat in here now for several months and have really struggled to read some of the information presented on the screen. And I understand that we're working with some technical pieces together, especially with getting agendas and things out in advance. And if that's not possible, it has been really challenging to participate and fully understand what's happening if I can't read it, or I'm spending so much time trying to read it and listen. So there's a few guidelines here that just talk about types of fonts, contrasting colors, and what makes something really legible or not. If you haven't in a while, I would recommend putting up a presentation that you've given recently and then sitting in one of the seats to see how easy it is to read. And I also would like to encourage, and thank you to everyone who spoke in their microphone today. I saw that and appreciated it. This is a very weird acoustic room, and I only partially paid attention in audiology because I, as a speech therapist, did not want to do ears. But the acoustics in this room are not ideal, especially for you guys sitting right there. For some of you, I can hear you crystal clear, and for some of you, your voice gets like sucked right into a void. So if you're leaning back in your seat and your hands are over your mouth and you're sitting behind this tall bench, it makes it hard. I can't really see your lips, so I can't use like lip cues to tell me what I'm hearing. And you're sitting back from your microphone, so it becomes really challenging to pay attention. And I have some executive function difficulties myself, which means it takes me a little bit longer to process. I benefit from having visuals, so when I'm asking you these things, it's not just to be a pain in the butt, but it does make it accessible for everybody. As I said last time, I'm happy to help if you need in kind of asking questions. If you want to run something by me, I have worked with public entities before in ADA compliance and making things more accessible, so that offer still stands. This is not like the most government specific, so some of these things may not pertain to you, but it was a really quick and easy kind of way to look at specifically how you present things on a screen. And it was from, I don't know if I put it on here specifically, but it was from JMU.
Thank you very much, and we'll be reaching out to you because our goal is to get everyone informed as much as possible, and your input is highly accepted, and we'll be reaching out to you.
Ms. Hausman, I commend you. If any of you go to Walmart here in Oxford and see a young lady out there that's hearing impaired, that's my daughter. And her deafness has taught me to speak slow, use your lips, and use your voice. And I commend you.
Commissioner Bridges?
Sometimes I can't see the screen. And so if there is any way that we can make letters bigger, you know, I mean, I think it's nice that we have these television screens, because, you know, in the period of time we didn't even have this. However,
Like what's up there now, if all the print was like that, and I know it's difficult to do, but I sit here sometimes and I'm thankful that I have a piece of paper that has what's up there, because I cannot read that screen. So I hope we will take some action to improve that for the public to be able to see. We may need to get larger screens, I don't know.
Commissioner Lumpkin.
Yeah, I have one thing. Along with our agendas, maybe if it's not already available, we could post the slideshow beforehand along with the agenda. So if somebody is having difficulties seeing the TVs, maybe they could print it out.
The printouts like we have.
Right. If that's possible. I know we have our agenda packets online and stuff, but I don't know specifically the slideshow that is shown here is online.
What happens is the new person come in, they have a loss when you go out now. We get training things to the public how, and we're talking about the next meeting, we're talking about what was from the board. You really need a copy of that, the whole thing. And then you can keep up with it. But when you, it's hard for someone to come in and keep what's going on.
Okay.
There's one suggestion in this handout as it pertains, and I got to thinking about it when I heard you make the comment, if it's available ahead of time. It doesn't solve the problem of sometimes technology is just not our friend, and so a printout is the easiest and most accessible way for every person, regardless of socioeconomic status. There is a more technological option, which could be QR codes are mentioned in there, and so if you can't have it in enough advance, but you can provide a link to the slides, then I can pull up my phone or my tablet that I have with me. Now, granted, that is a privilege that I have that maybe not everybody here does, but it does help bridge a gap, because if I am vision impaired, I can expand a screen as well. So you could potentially have a QR code where people could access it in the meeting to be able to blow it up on a device to look. This is like a thought to what was ignored.
Thank you.
Is it possible, Cindy, if we might can look into like doing like a community diligent portal where they can scan the QR code and it's just the forum will come up on what's being presented? Okay.
Again, thank you. We will take everything you mentioned into consideration, because we really want to make this be easy for everyone to follow us. And that concludes our public comment for this evening. We move into city-based business. First item tonight is to consider receiving a petition for annexation for 65 acres located on Highway 15, south, owned by Evergreen Stone LLC, by directing the city clerk by resolution to investigate the sufficiency of the petition of annexation. Staff recommends approving the resolution to direct the city clerk to investigate the sufficiency of the petition. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Yes, second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.2, consider approval of 6-lot subdivision plat for lots located in West College and New Baker Streets The planning board recommends approval with the condition that the applicant remove the note on the lot number 6 indicating that there's existing water line. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.3, consider approving a $1,000 donation to the city of Creedmoor to aid in the 2024 annual fireworks on Lake Hope. Motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. 4.4, consider adopting the revised stormwater management ordinance and stormwater plan. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 4.5, consider calling for public hearing on Monday, June 3rd to receive a citizen input on the fiscal year 2024-25 budgets. Staff recommend calling for public hearing on Monday, June 3rd to receive citizen input on FY 24-25 budget. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Consider accepting the March 2024 financial report and April 1st and April 9 minutes. Is there a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to start by asking, we'll start with Commissioner Bellis. And Tom, is there anything to add?
Yes, to Mr. Scotty Brooks, I want to assure you that, my planning committee, planning and development committee, an agenda was pushed to start looking into, a particular idea for affordable housing. And, the committee members did approve to move forward into looking into these ideas. So it's definitely something that, since I came into office, that I've been trying to brainstorm different ideas and bring it to the city manager and to the board members and get them on board on it. But I'm definitely got that on my mind. It's not something that that I have set aside or anything. It's something that I've set to do, and I'm going to continue to work on it until I'm able to get something done. On another note, I got to go to the Masonic home because, as everyone knows, I'm the appointed liaison to the Masonic home this year, and I met with the is he the director, administrator. I know some children's home they call him director. Over there they call him administrator. He has stressed that he wants the board to visit and he wants to give us a tour. And he also, Sun Children's Home is also having a gala and he would like if we participate in it. But I would love it if we can all go out there and, you know, see how this place runs. They have had long ties with us. And see how we can continue to work together. But I want to thank everybody for coming out and participating tonight as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Lumpkin.
Yeah, just a couple things. I hate that Jackie left. That award is well deserved. I was very excited to see that she was recognized this evening. So I
Also wanted to talk about the Culture Fest. That was probably one of the best events, you know, that I've seen in a while in town. Well attended, the setup was great. Whoever was responsible for booking the acts, it was fantastic. I'm not sure exactly who the Chavis family. Okay. Oh yeah, it was great. I took my daughter out there and she was mesmerized at all the different acts. And it felt like you were traveling around the world and seeing all that. So it was amazing. So thank you everybody that had something to do with the Culture Fest. So, and I was going to talk about Brandon, but I'll let you do it. Unless you want me to.
You want to?
I'll just do very short. We met this past week with another round of revisions for our citywide branding. If those of you don't know that we're working with a company to in essence rebrand Oxford. That includes logos for the city of Oxford and also downtown. So we're probably close to halfway done with that. I think this is our second round of revisions, or
Third round.
we have a lot of good options and ideas, and we're really trying to stick to what the public had to say, what was important to them to be reflected in brand, and what Oxford meant to them. So I look forward to continuing working on that committee. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited for everybody to see what we eventually come up with. But it seems like a consensus is far away, but we're gonna keep working on it. So thank you.
Commissioner McGregor. It's already been stated. Thanks everyone for your continued participation, your continued commitment in attending the board meetings. As I often say, after each one, your attendance is greatly appreciated. It really means a lot. And because I know each one of us, you know, we have in mind, we know that you're the reason we're here and we work for you. So I ask to each one of you just to encourage to bring out family members, friends, as many citizens as possible. It's very important that all voices are heard. A lot of times, you know, when we're out and about, I can speak specifically for me. You know, there are questions that are asked, and you know, thankfully, you know, thank God, so far I've had the majority of the answers. But a lot of those questions can be answered in this forum. So I would ask to that each one of you that are here just continue, you know, you yourselves come, but also to invite family members, friends, and other citizens as well. Chief Ford, as always, you know, that this week, the National Police Week, is very important. It highlights being a correctional worker myself, or being in law enforcement myself. It really means a lot to be recognized, and just, you know, to know that, you know, and I think I heard Mr. Brooks say one time before, you know, a lot of times when bad things go down, you know, you have a group of people that's running towards it, running away from it, but a select few of us run towards it. That's what we do. We made the commitment, we're willing to make the sacrifice. And as I've stated, you know, often, a lot of times it is thankless and it may sometimes go unnoticed. But please, Chief Ford, you know, please, you know, speak to your officers and all of the persons that are involved in the department. And we appreciate that. We thank them. I look forward to the opportunity to come and thanking them myself as well. And again, just again, as I said before, you know, let them know that, you know, they're always in our prayers, and that all that we can do to make things better for them, as well as the city of Oxford willing to do. You know, Chief, same for the fire. Thank you, sir, as well. Again, your public service and your efforts are greatly appreciated.
I know a lot of times you guys work hand in hand, and it's a beautiful dance you guys do. It's greatly appreciated. And again, finally to the citizens, again, thank you guys for coming out. Again, know that we're here for you. Continue to come out, continue to bring your concerns, because I truly believe we have a goal in mind. We have a common goal in mind. That's to make Oxford the best that we can make it. So again, thank you, and we can only do that by through and by your concerns and your help as well. So again, thank you.
Go down, city attorney. No. City manager. Mr. Toby.
Thank you. I had the pleasure this morning of attending the ribbon cutting of the Families Living Violence Free at Central Children's Home. And I just want to say what a wonderful place they've got there. And it's a great job that they're doing. As I said there at the opening, it's unfortunate that we need it, what we do, but we're grateful that it's there. So I just want to let the public know that it is out there and they're doing a fantastic job. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bridges.
Yes, I first of all want to say that the subject matters that I heard today were very enlightening. I appreciated hearing about the efforts relative to our homeless. You know, I have an office and folks come through there and they say, I'm hungry. Mr. Bridges, I need to get some lunch. And all I can, and some of them are former clients, but the bottom line is we have folks who have no resources or income. And it's great that we're planning to have facilities that addresses our homeless and folks who are struggling in our community. I also was very enlightened by the Red Cross presentation. We often overlook folks who come out when we have disasters. Trees falling on houses and cars, power lines in the streets, you know, because of a storm. And then you see those folks out there who have on those vests and the Red Cross, sometimes putting their own lives, as well as our first responders and law enforcement, putting their own lives at jeopardy, trying to help others. So I was glad to hear from the Red Cross. Let me say this about what we do relative to Alive After 5 and Cultural Fest and some of the other things that force our community to come together. You know, it's great that we had such a diversity that we had at that Cultural Fest. And my wife and I, as we were sitting there, we looked around and we saw folks of different races having a good time together. Not fussing and fighting and complaining, but having a good time together. And it was like going through, you know, a trip, you know, because you had the Japanese coming up and doing the dancing, the Africans dancing, and it was just a beautiful atmosphere. Now, I'll say this about the meetings. I'm glad to see folk come up here and act respectful. Because just like you want respect, and you want to be heard, we expect people that come here from the public to be respectful of us. And I'm seeing that in the last few meetings. And I hope that we will continue that, because I want the community to come out too, but respectfully disagree with us. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, I get to piggyback on what everybody else has said. To the staff of the city of Oxford, each month I try to reiterate the fact of how much we appreciate everything you all do daily. daily. The things that we see you do and the things that we don't see you do, we appreciate it. Piggybacking on the Culture Fest, it was beautiful, educational, informative, and I didn't dance because my knees were in charge. And anybody that know what I mean, know what I mean. On branding, I never knew trying to get a brand took so much energy and thought-provoking ideas, because what we're trying to do is to come up with something that will be pleasing to you, attractive to others, and thoughtful. And hopefully we'll get it out soon. We're getting close. When Seth speak, we all listen, so we're getting close. To Mayor Sargent, outstanding. To Mr. Brooks, yes, I like calling Graball home. And it is sad that we live in a nation that people have to struggle just to find shelter. And it's not just their fault or their plight, but it's all about life. Because what happens to the homeless has an impact on us. So we're working on it. That's it.
All you guys are very difficult. I have a follow. I'm gonna go back to the police. Earlier in the month, I had a phone call come in about there was a young lady down at the Bojangles area that had a mental issue breakdown, and was told by the person who gave me a call out professional, well handled by the police department. I think I relayed that to Chief Ford earlier in the month. That was also outstanding. I also was, while visiting the schools this week, I was told that there was an incident where somewhere along the road where someone had a weapon, and the notification to the school department was like clockwork, and they really want to appreciate that. To the planning and ordinance, Mr. Antoine Rice, there was a email come in about some issues at home, and Antoine went down there and took care of it in a passionate manner, very good. I commend emails. The gentleman, and it shows what the staff is doing. Public Works also in a couple of meetings we had recently throughout the city. It was very commended about the work that the Public Works office is doing, and a couple of things throughout the city and the staff. Culture talked about that already. The ADA, we will follow up on it. That's important for us. Along with affordable housing, in here, pretty much in the near future, there's going to be a senior affordable housing complex, apartment complex that's going to be open here in the very future, maybe a month and a half. So that's something that for 55 and over, that's going to be good. Keep in mind, this weekend coming up, there's 3-on-3 basketball on Main Street. Get ready and get suited up. And Juneteenth is on the 15th of June. Please come out. And I want to thank Brianne and Sabrina for working with, along with the folks from Cultural Festival and other things that they work on. And sometimes I pull them out of their job to do what they do, but they stand up and do good. And they all do it and representing the city and the staff what we do. So thank you all. And with that, we are going to recess. Recess.
I just forgot to add, I had the privilege to go on a field trip with West Oxford. I don't know what, about a week and a half, about a week ago. And West Oxford ended up getting picked to get 2 of the adults to participate against another school from Moore County. Well, long story short, they stuck me and the other guy in this big old ball. Now we know what Hot Pockets feel like. And they put us in the middle of that field, and we had to compete against the other school. And them guys was out for blood. They were trying to get us down. But we ended up winning for West Oxford. First time West Oxford got to compete for that. So I was proud to be one of the people to be able to compete for the little kids, because we had probably, I want to say it might have been 70 kids in the stands. And my wife told me that when West Oxford won, the kids went crazy. You know, so I'm proud of that. And if anybody want to see the video, it's on my commissioner's page, but it's funny.
Just look for the guy that's been on the floor rolling around. Thank you. So we're gonna close.
I request we go to closed session.
We're gonna adjourn to go to closed session.
I make a motion.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.